We met in 1983 at a PTA meeting. Our kids were in the same second grade class. For 40 years, Linda was the person I called first, with good news, bad news, no news at all. When my husband died, she showed up at my door with casseroles and tissues and stayed for 3 months. She held my hand at the funeral, helped me sort through his clothes, told me I'd survive this. I believed her. I trusted her. And 6 months later, when the insurance company called asking why I hadn't claimed my husband's life insurance payout, I didn't understand. But I did, I said. Linda helped me file it. There was a long pause. Then the agent said, according to our records, the beneficiary was changed 2 weeks before your husband passed. And the payout, $173,000, was deposited into an account under the name Linda Catherine Morrison. I sat down slowly. The phone felt heavy in my hand. That's my friend, I said. There must be a mistake. Is she authorized on your account? No. I mean, she helped me with the paperwork after Richard died. But, Mrs. Brennan, the agent interrupted gently, we have a notarized beneficiary change form dated February 4th. Your husband passed on February 18th. The signature on the form says Elizabeth Brennan. Was that you? I never signed anything in February, I said. Richard was in the hospital. I was with him every day. Silence on the line. Then, I'm going to transfer you to our fraud department. That's when I knew. This wasn't a mistake. This was theft. Richard and I had been married for 38 years. High school sweethearts. He proposed at 19. We built a life together, 2 kids, a mortgage, Friday night dinners with the same group of friends. Linda was part of that group. She and her husband Tom were at our wedding. Our children grew up together. When Tom died of cancer in 2006, Richard and I helped Linda through it. We brought meals, sat with her, held her when she cried. She did the same for me when Richard's heart gave out last February. He'd had a minor heart attack in January. The doctors said it was manageable. Medication, lifestyle changes, regular checkups. We were careful. He took his pills. We walked every evening. Cut back on salt. But on February 18th at 4:37 a.m., I woke to find him cold beside me. The paramedics said it was massive. Instantaneous. He hadn't suffered. I called Linda before I even called our kids. She arrived within 20 minutes, still in her bathrobe, and held me while I shook. The funeral was February 23rd. Linda sat in the front row with family. Held my hand during the eulogy. Helped greet guests at the reception afterward. And when everyone left, she stayed. I'm not leaving you alone, she said. Not yet. She moved into the guest room that night. For 3 months, she cooked breakfast, sorted mail, answered phone calls. When I couldn't get out of bed, she brought me tea. When I cried at 2 a.m., she sat with me. I thought I was lucky to have a friend like that. Looking back now, I can see the pattern. How she slowly took over. How she volunteered to handle things before I even asked. How she was always near the desk when important mail arrived. The insurance documents came in early March. Thick envelopes from Pacific Life Insurance. Richard's policy. The one we'd opened when our son was born. Linda opened the envelope before I even saw it. Lizzie, she said, sitting beside me on the couch. There's paperwork here. About Richard's life insurance. You need to file a claim. I couldn't look at it. The sight of his name printed on official documents made my chest tight. Can you do it? I asked. I can't think about this right now. Of course, she said softly. I'll take care of everything. She laid the papers on the kitchen table. Explained what each form was for. Death certificate copy, claimant information, beneficiary confirmation. Just sign here, she said, pointing to a line at the bottom. And here. And I'll mail it in for you. I signed. I didn't read. I just wanted it to be over. She mailed the forms the next day. Told me it would take a few weeks to process. I thanked her. Hugged her. Told her I didn't know what I'd do without her. She smiled. That's what friends are for. By May, Linda had moved back to her own house. I was functioning again. Not healed, but upright. I'd started going through Richard's things. Organizing finances. Learning how to be alone. The insurance money never crossed my mind. I assumed it was processing. Or maybe already deposited somewhere I hadn't checked. Then came the call. June 14th. 10:23 a.m. A woman named Patricia, who from Pacific Life's Fraud Investigation Unit. Mrs. Brennan, I need to ask you some questions about the beneficiary change form submitted on February 4th. I don't know what you're talking about, I said. She walked me through it. The form. The notary stamp. The signature that was supposed to be mine. Can you email me a copy? I asked, my voice shaking. I'll send it now. I opened my laptop with trembling hands. The email arrived 3 minutes later. I clicked the attachment. And there it was. A standard beneficiary change form. Richard's name at the top. My name, Elizabeth and Brennan, signed at the bottom, except that wasn't my signature. It was close. The right slant. Similar loops. But I've signed my name a million times. I know the exact way my B curves. The way my NS connect. This was a forgery. A good one. But not mine. I stared at the notary stamp. Dated February 4th. Location, Hillside Notary Services on Maple Street. I called them immediately. Hillside Notary, this is Karen. Hi, my name is Elizabeth Brennan. I need to verify a document that was notarized at your office on February 4th. Sure, what's the document number? I read it off the form. I heard typing. Then, yes, I have it here. Beneficiary change form. Notarized by myself at 11:15 a.m. Can you describe the person who signed it? A pause. I'm sorry, I can't give out personal details. Someone forged my signature, I said, my voice breaking. Please. I need to know who came in. Karen hesitated. Hold on. More typing. Then, quietly, it was a woman. Late 60s. Short grey hair. She had your ID. Driver's license. Everything matched. Did she give a name? Elizabeth Brennan. Like I said, the ID checked out. My California driver's license. The one I kept in my wallet. Except I hadn't used it in weeks. Not since Richard died. I hung up and went straight to my purse. Opened my wallet. My license was there. Right where it should be, but when I pulled it out and held it to the light, I saw the edge. The faint line where it had been laminated. Twice. This wasn't my original license. This was a copy. A good one. But a copy. Someone had taken my license. Copied it. Returned the fake. And used the real one to impersonate me. I sat down hard on the kitchen floor. There was only one person who'd had access to my purse during those weeks. Only one person who'd been in my house unsupervised. Who'd sorted my mail, answered my phone, handled my paperwork. Linda. I called Patricia who back. I know who did it, I said. And I need to know what to do next. She connected me with a detective. His name was Marcus Wells, Financial Crimes Division. We met the following day at a coffee shop near the police station. I brought everything. The forged document. My real license. Copies of my bank statements showing no insurance deposit. Photos of Linda from Facebook. Marcus studied the documents carefully, making notes in a small leather notebook. How long have you known her? He asked. 40 years. He looked up. And you're sure? The notary described her. The signature is close but wrong. My ID was copied. She was the only person in my house with access to everything. He nodded slowly. This is going to be hard to prove. She'll say you gave her permission. That you were grieving and confused. I know, I said. But I'm not confused now. Do you have any recordings? Texts? Emails where she admits to handling the insurance claim? I pulled out my phone. Scrolled to a text from March 9th. Linda, just mailed the insurance paperwork. Should hear back in 3 to 4 weeks. Don't worry about a thing, Marcus photographed the screen. That helps, he said. But we need more. We need her to admit what she did. And we need to trace the money. How? He leaned back. You're going to have to talk to her. Wear a wire. Get her to confess. My stomach turned. I don't think I can. Mrs. Brennan, he said gently. She stole from you. From your husband's memory. If you don't do this, she'll get away with it. I thought about Richard. About the policy he'd paid into for 30 years. Money meant for me. For our future. Okay, I said. I'll do it. Marcus set it up for the following week. A small recording device, clipped inside my shirt. A backup phone recording in my purse. And a plan. I would invite Linda to lunch. Casual. Friendly. And I would ask her about the insurance money. The lunch was set for June 22nd at a cafe we'd been to 100 times. Linda arrived right on time, smiling, arms open for a hug. Lizzie, it's so good to see you. You look better. I hugged her back, feeling the recorder press against my ribs. We ordered. Made small talk. Laughed about a mutual friend's disastrous haircut. It felt normal. Easy. The way it always had. Then I brought it up. Linda, I need to ask you something. About the insurance. Her smile didn't falter. Of course. What's up? Did you ever hear back? From Pacific Life. Oh, she said, waving a hand. I think they're just slow. You know how these things are. Right, I said carefully. It's just, I called them last week. To check. And they said the claim was already processed. Back in March. Her fork paused halfway to her mouth. Really? Yeah. They said the payout was sent. $173,000. She set the fork down. That's great, Lizzie. Did it go to your account? That's the thing, I said, watching her face. They said it went to a different account. Under a different name. Her expression didn't change. That's weird. Maybe there's a mistake. That's what I thought. But they showed me the paperwork. The beneficiary change form. From February. She blinked. February? But Richard died in February. I know. The form was dated 2 weeks before he died. Silence. She picked up her water glass. Sipped slowly. Did you sign something like that? She asked. I don't remember signing anything in February, I said. Do you? Her eyes met mine. And for the first time in 40 years, I saw something I didn't recognize. Lizzie, you were a mess in February. You probably signed all kinds of things and don't remember. Maybe, I said. But the insurance company said the money went to someone named Linda Catherine Morrison. The glass stopped halfway to her lips. That's you, I said quietly. She set the glass down carefully. Too carefully. There's obviously been a mistake, she said, her voice steady. I'll call them. We'll sort this out. I already sorted it out, I said. I filed a police report. Her face went pale. You what? I reported it as fraud. Identity theft. Forgery. She stood abruptly. I can't believe you'd accuse me of. I'm not accusing, I said, standing too. I'm stating facts. The money was deposited into your account. My signature was forged. My ID was copied. You're grieving, she hissed. You're not thinking clearly. I'm thinking perfectly clearly, I said. And I know what you did. She grabbed her purse. I don't have to listen to this. Linda, I said, my voice breaking. Just tell me why. After 40 years. Why? She stopped. Turned. And for a moment, I thought she might confess. Might explain. Instead, she leaned close and whispered, You always had everything, Lizzie. The perfect husband. The perfect house. I just took what I deserved. Then she walked out. I sat back down, shaking. The recorder had caught every word. The investigation moved quickly after that. Detective Wells subpoenaed Linda's bank records. Found the deposit. $173,000, transferred from Pacific Life on March 17. He tracked her spending. A new car. A cruise to Alaska. Payments on credit card debt she'd been carrying for years. The notary, Karen, identified Linda from a photo lineup. Confirmed she'd presented my driver's license. A handwriting expert compared the forged signature to samples of Linda's writing. Testified that the letter formations matched her hand, not mine. The trial was in November. I sat in the courtroom every day. Watched Linda's lawyer argue that I'd given permission. That I'd been too grief-stricken to remember, but the evidence was clear. The recording. The bank transfers. The expert testimony. The jury deliberated for 2 hours, guilty on all counts. Fraud, identity theft, forgery, grand theft. Sentencing came 3 weeks later. 5 years in prison. Full restitution of $173,000 plus legal fees. Linda didn't look at me when they led her away. I didn't feel triumph. Just a deep, aching sadness. 40 years of friendship. Gone. Not because we grew apart, but because she chose to betray me when I was at my lowest. I got the money back in January. Every cent. The court made sure of it. I donated half to the hospice that cared for Richard in his final days. The other half went into a trust for my grandchildren. I don't talk to Linda's family. They blamed me for prosecuting her. Said I should have been more forgiving, but forgiveness doesn't mean letting someone steal from you and walk away. I sold the house last spring. Too many memories. Too many ghosts. I bought a smaller place near my daughter. Started volunteering at the senior center. Made new friends. Careful ones. Slower ones. Sometimes I still think about Linda. About the morning we met. About birthday parties and holiday dinners and late-night phone calls, but mostly I think about the moment she walked out of that cafe. The moment she chose greed over friendship, and I'm grateful I chose truth over loyalty, because some people, no matter how long you've known them, were never really your friend. They were just waiting for the right moment to take what they wanted. Linda waited 40 years, but I only needed 6 months to make sure she paid for every single day of it.